Plaintiff Angie Shadursky says she put an ad online looking for a roommate, and the defendant answered. However, the two of them became more than roommates. They started dating. Angie says a week after they moved in together, the defendant lost his job, and she's suing him today for unpaid rent. Defendant Ariel Hall says when he first met Angie, everything was great, and they really hit it off. Ariel admits that he lost his job and was unable to pay rent, but he claims neither of them were paying rent, and that's why Angie's home was going into foreclosure, so he should not have to pay.
Tell me what happened.
So I posted an ad on Craigslist looking for a roommate, and instead I ended up with a boyfriend.
How?
He replied to the ad.
And said what? I want to be your roommate, or he said, I want to be your boyfriend,
He
not
said,
your
my
roommate?
name is Ariel Hall. I'm a semi-pro football player. I watch my kids during the day, and his kids actually lived right down the street from the house I owned. He was a bartender. He didn't party much, so I thought we'd be a great fit.
As a roommate or as a boyfriend? I'm trying to see how
As
the
a roommate.
transition occurred.
The transition actually happened probably within a month.
Okay, gotcha. So he moved in. What was the agreement?
Sean moved in. The agreement was he would pay $450 a month.
This was when?
January of 2009.
All right.
More.
What else you want to tell me in terms of background before we get to the rent you're suing him about?
Things were great. You know, the relationship was really good. We were planning a future together. I actually have a ring that he bought me
Really?
that I'd like to return. to his
Uh-oh, you
bedroom.
want to give it back today? Let's see it. Wow. You went for this. Go ahead, ma'am. You thought this was the real deal?
No, it's not the real deal.
Oh, okay.
I
Just
know
making
that.
sure. No problem.
No, he never got
there's
that
nothing wrong with
It was
giving.
a symbol.
Yeah, no, that's absolutely. Hey, don't. I would not. I promise you. I hope my sons and my daughter do not spend any big money that they can't afford. So this is no problem. There you go. Give him his ring back. I was just wondering if he presented that to you under the pretense it was a large and expensive diamond.
It was a promise of what was to come.
That was smart.
So things were great, you know. The relationship kept going, and eventually I sold my house, and Sean moved with me into another place. But the reason that ring is not real was because he lost his job. So
How did he lose it?
you're gonna have to ask him that.
Okay, you want to speak on the job issue? You can give me the full background, and then we'll get back.
Like Angie said, I met her on Craigslist, and I moved in right away, and everything was great. We hit it off as roommates and friends. We spent all our time together every day. But it was at that time that I lost my job. My daughter from California called. I used the phone behind the bar, and pretty much it wasn't acceptable. I made a long distance phone call.
Gotcha.
And so I had lost my job, and but things were still going great in life. And Angie and I, we did move into another apartment.
Why did you break up then?
And financially, I started losing hours at work.
Okay. Financial pressures.
Financial pressure. Definitely.
You all started arguing over money.
It wasn't so much an argument over
Well, I
money.
don't know why you're still together. Give her that ring back.
No, I don't want it.
Well, he doesn't know why you broke up. You tell me. Why did you break up, ma'am?
I don't think there's one answer, but financial reasons. You know,
You all began to argue about financial issues?
I was doing everything. I was carrying the load for everything.
But he lost his job.
A year before that.
Most people who lost their job a year ago are still unemployed. You gotta be a little more compassionate to your man. If nothing else was wrong, if everything else was fine and he happened to lose his job and couldn't get another one for a year, you gotta have more love for your man than that. Am I right or wrong?
I do agree.
Your Honor, there was a lot of broken promises during
Like
that
what?
year. He's got 4 kids.
And?
That added pressure. I don't have any kids.
Did you know he had 4 kids before your close?
I found out during the time we were together.
Did that affect it?
Our relationship,
Yes. All right, so what difference did it make?
no. He didn't have any health insurance, so there came a time where he got hurt, and that was a strain on us.
Was that after he lost his job?
Yes. There was also a time where I had to help him out with car issues, car insurance.
Was that a result of him losing his job?
No, that was him making bad decisions.
Oh, he was still working.
He was working 1 day a week.
Sounds like to me that everything was fine until the man lost his job.
I just want to say he lost his job the first week he moved in. I stayed by his side and supported him
How
that
long?
whole time that I could.
Okay.
I just couldn't do it anymore.
Okay. Sir, you lose it the first week you moved in?
The first week I did lose
That's too
my
much
job.
of coincidence for me too. I don't blame you. Yeah, that's too much of coincidence. Just so happened when you move into my place, you lose your job within 7 days.
Your Honor,
And-
That's too much coincidence.
I did
for
lose
me.
Your
my
Honor.
job within a week,
You
but
did?
at the same time, it didn't take a year for me to find a new job. I did find a new job within 3 months. I just
You moved in
couldn't
with
get
me
enough.
in 1 week and lost your job, you'd have had to been moving out that second week.
Your Honor,
I'm sorry. I thought maybe you had been paying your share for a year or so. Not 1 week, sir. No.
I would like to add that he
Go
did
ahead.
find a decent job the week after he moved out.
Right. 1 week after moving out, he found a job. Sir, you trying to hustle this woman?
Absolutely not. I mean, I did have a job. I was working. I just wasn't making enough money.
Let's get to the rent he owes you. What months are you suing him for?
I'm suing for the 09, the original townhouse he moved in.
What months in 09? Go ahead.
March, April, May, and June for $450. And then he did help out up until about December of 09. He paid with what he could at the new place. So I'm suing for January, February, March, April, and May, $500.
Okay. Sir?
First, I would like to say that when we first moved into the first house that we lived in half the time, we did become a couple, and her house was going into foreclosure, and she wasn't paying rent there. So I really never felt like I had to pay that money. I mean, it was never really an issue. We were together, we were a couple. No one was paying rent.
Did you all have an agreement that you would pay $450 in 09 and then $500 in January
Yes.
of 10?
And then when we moved into the new place where I was going to pay $500, I paid every month. Even though I was working 1 day a week, I paid every month except for the last 2 before we broke up.
How did you pay?
I had a job. I mean, I was
1 day a week?
working. I mean, I was a bartender. I made money, and I worked
1 day a
more
week
I worked more than 1 day a week.
You just told me one. Now you're saying you worked more than one
Well,
day
I mean,
a
it
week?
could average out to, it wasn't every week, just 1 week. My schedule was different every week. Some days it'd be 1 day, some days it'd be 2.
Okay.
I worked over the weekends.
Oh, and that allowed
However
you
the
to-
case, I made enough money to pay my rent.
Okay. 1 day a week. I need your job. Go ahead, ma'am. Did you pay? Are you being sued?
No,
What?
I did go through a short sale. I did not
Okay.
foreclose on my
So you
home.
did lose money.
Yes.
Did you ever forgive his debt to you?
Never.
Your
Sir?
Honor, I would, at this time, I'd like to present my evidence if I may.
Sure.
Basically, it's just an email from her telling me, and this is in May, so this is well after I've moved out.
Okay.
Basically, she's telling me that, it was a hard lesson learned. I don't owe her. If I want to pay her back or give her money, then it's at my discretion.
That's what she says.
This is what she says.
you
and
don't owe me,
you can
but if
ask
you
her.
want to give me some money, it's at your discretion.
It's in the highlighted area.
Let's see. Good morning, Sean. I decided when I was in Europe that I wasn't going to take you to court for any of it. If I never saw a penny, it was just another hard lesson learned in life. So with that being said, you can decide if you ever want to send money my way. Sounds like she wants some money to me. If there are points in your life where you are thinking about me, well, you have my bank account number. That doesn't infer to you that she wants you to pay her?
It means that if I have points in my life where I would like to give her money. I would, and I have given her money.
Well, that's not what it means to me. In my opinion, that means I want my money, but I'm not going to chase you down for it. You have my bank account, and whenever you're ready to do right and pay what you owe me, you should. He interpreted that as an exoneration of payment. So I didn't. I interpreted it as the opposite. So thank you for giving me something to interpret. Otherwise, I might not have known what to do. 4,300 for the plaintiff. Have a good day.
I still think Angie's still a great person. I have nothing bad I could ever say about her.
I'm just happy it's over.